Hello everyone, we are here today to talk about our PUBG controller settings. I am utilizing a Series X controller, just a regular Series X controller, wireless because I use rechargeable batteries, and people have been asking me what are my settings, can I explain my settings? So here we are, we're on training mode, trying to figure out why I chose my settings and if these settings can work for you. I'm not saying that they will. I don't recommend that you use exactly my settings because I have been playing with my settings for over 3 years. So I've little by little incrementally have changed my settings just a tiny bit throughout the past 3 years to be where I am today. You need to find out what your own settings are, but knowing what other people do and why they do it might help you figure out what you need to do to improve on your aiming or being able to wipe squads and whatnot. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna go over the types. So the controller button presets, we have type A, type B, type C, and type custom. I cannot talk to you about custom because don't really care to try it. C was a total fail, so I'm going to talk about A and B. So type A, is how I first started playing the game. It's a different way of playing shooters because I've been playing Call of Duty for so many years that whenever I got to this game, having to double tap to get ADS was just so hard for me to understand, and I didn't understand why I was so bad at the game. Because if you press it one time, you press your left trigger one time, it'll go into what we call soft aim, over the shoulder, and you have to tap twice to go into ADS. ADS is definitely the best way to go about shooting anybody over 50 meters. But I am more used to Call of Duty style kind of play style, so I always use type B. You hold it, and every time you hold it, you will always go to ADS. Then you have to press the left B, left bumper, so it'll go into soft aim or over the shoulder aim. So you got the left trigger and the left bumper to do two different aiming that are they come in handy a lot depending on what kind of battle you're in. If you're up really up close or a little bit further away, then you will need to mentally train your fingers or your body to just react to which one you need to use. Okay, so then we have the inverted axis. I know a couple people that use inverted axis because they used to play Halo, and Halo's mostly inverted, but I have never seen anybody use it on PUBG, so I would not recommend it, and I cannot explain to you the benefits or the flaws to using inverted axis on your controller. The dead zone. So the dead zone, what it means is how long will it take for you to move your analog before the game actually reacts to you moving the analog. Okay, so right now I did have a little bit of stick drift on my old controller, so I actually had to turn it up, but I actually run only on 5, because if you turn it all the way down and you have like the slightest stick drift, you see how my guy is barely moving? If you move, look, it's still moving like towards the left. So having 0 dead zone will literally pick up the slightest of stick drift. We don't want that. So you're going to have to play with it. You're going to play with it. I would recommend you to go all the way to 5 and then moving increments of 5 to see when does your stick drift stops. So you just look around for a second and then you let it go. And if there's no movement whatsoever, just keep it there. It will react the fastest. And since you have no stick drift, it'll just work the best in my opinion. Moving on to vibration. For some reason, a lot of my friends do not like the vibration on their controller. I love the vibration on the controller. It just makes you feel more like part of the game when your controller vibrates, and I keep that at 10. So on forward running sensitivity, I kept it normal at 20. Movement sensitivity also at 10, just regular default, just because I don't see this affecting so much whenever you start running or moving. And I've been playing for 3+ years this game, and I've never had even the intention of changing those settings because they have never bothered me. Now, vertical multiplier. This vertical multiplier, it is the way that I control, obviously, the vertical recoil. The lower the vertical multiplier means the slower you're going to move your analog as aiming. So if I am going to aim at that tree, I always crouch whenever I shoot. It is the most accurate way to shoot. You don't want to be moving around. You want to crouch and aim. So when you start shooting, you'll be able to notice how much you need to pull down on your analog, on your right analog, to be able to keep that straight, as straight as you can, right? In I would say in red dots, it's not that big of a noticeable. See, very noticeable that it's hard to push down whenever your sensitivity is so low. So in my case, I love doing 6-time sprays. This is, by the way, this is guns with no attachments, only scopes. I'm only using the AUG with scopes only, no attachments, so yeah, I can see the difference. So here we go. So I have the 6 times pull back. You can pull your scopes frontward and backwards, the 6 times, 8 times, and 15 times by holding your right bumper and moving your left analog up and down. Then you will try to, while shooting, hold down your right analog down. Pretty much you're pulling down the gun as you're shooting. So here you go. It wasn't the most terrible spray, but also it's not what I'm used to, right? So let's move it all the way to 150 and see. Now the sensitivity is going to be super high on the right analog as you're aiming, trying to pull down. You could see that. You could see me actually pulling down on every time that the gun went up, I pulled down. It was too high for me. Way too high for me. So I'm going to go back to where I had it at 100, which for some reason I've been using it at 100 for so long that I'm just used to it. And I haven't had the need to change it any more than that. And here we go. It got kind of away from me, but then once I find that adjustment that I need to start pulling down, it starts centering and then it stays steady on it. One more time. There you go. But every spray is different. I can never get a for sure spray every single time. But when you add attachments to the gun, it gets a lot straighter. 100% it gets a lot straighter. General sensitivity. So on the general sensitivity, I run a 15 because while I'm moving around, running around, I'm always looking around to make sure that I know that from any position that I might be getting shot from, I'm always looking to it. And I want to be able to snap on people that are right behind me. Like if I'm getting shot right here from behind, I want to be able to boom, turn around without having to aim or anything. I'm able to turn around and snap on whoever's behind me. Okay, that's why I run a 15 sensitivity. Vehicle sensitivity, I run a just default 5 because you're driving around. You're not so worried about trying to shoot people in the car and all that stuff. Now, aim acceleration. I personally use aim acceleration at 5, while some of my friends do not use it at all. The reason I use it at 5 is because I always have either a 3 times or a 6 times on my gun. I don't use 1 times, I don't use 2 times. I use 3 times and 6 times and 4 times on my AR guns. So I have to be able to keep up with a car that is cruising by at full speed next to me. So I'm aiming, and then this is how fast I can keep up with a car that's trying to go from that direction that way. It is ridiculously fast for me to keep up with a 6 times at any moving vehicle, motorcycle. It doesn't matter what car it is. I will be able to keep up with them because it gets faster and faster and faster the more you hold your analog. The more you hold the analog, the faster it gets. Obviously, I'm not going to hold it until I do a 360 because there's no need for all that. But I will be able to keep up with any car, vehicle, or motorcycle that's trying to get from that rock to that rock with a 6 times. That's why I use aim acceleration. Then we have over the shoulder aiming is again, it needs to be high for a person like me that I like to snap on people, because if I'm fighting and I'm fighting somebody this close, right? And I don't want to be able to move like this slow with a low sensitivity, because the person who's close to me, they're moving pretty darn fast. So they're moving fast. I got to be able to keep up with them just in case they do a little bit of this, maybe try to drop shot me or something, try to jump. I'm able to keep up with them. So if I'm trying to play around the rock, I'm able to move from this side to this side as fast as possible and keep up with their body, because I'm always using my cursor to always find out where I'm going to shoot next. That's how I get the fastest snipe. That's how I get the fastest turn on people. My cursor is always pointing where I might be shooting if I'm running. So if I'm running up to this house or up to, let's say, that tree, if I think that there's somebody behind that palm tree, I'm already aiming with my cursor. Even though you don't see it, I'm trying to keep it there. Just in case I have to snap, I'm already there. I'm already there. Like, I do not have to, I don't run around like this. I don't run around like that. My cursor's always where I will be shooting next. It works a lot better for snipers. So if you are sitting behind this tree and you want to snipe somebody all the way in that rock over there, I aim, find them. Oh, that's his head. I'm already pre-aim at his head. When I come out of here, I'm already aiming at his head. And that's how you can quick scope the heck out of people real quick. Even if they have a DMR, if they're not, even if they're already scoped in on you, you snap. You already have the head already marked. Every single time. Every single time. Now let's go to inventory's cursor sensitivity. That just started this past season. I haven't moved it because I have no need for it. Alright. Now for the scopes. Like I said, I love my high sensitivity. I've been playing high sensitivity for years and years and years of playing this game. For me, I feel like that is the best for me to whatever scope I have on my AR to move fast. And that's why they're all at 12. But I only snipe with the 4 times, the 8 times, and the 15 times. Those are the only 3 scopes that I used to snipe. So I need them a tiny bit slower than if I was aiming with an AR. So 12's all for me. A scope 4 times 11. There is an 11 and not 10 or 12 is because I use it for ARs, but I mostly use it for snipes. So it's like in between of both of them. The 6 times I use it strictly for spray. So I do not snipe with the 6 times. I cannot snipe with the 6 times because it is at a high sensitivity. So it's a lot harder for me to snipe with a 6 times. So I'll try to keep it with a 4 or with an 8 strictly for sniping. 15 times is too ridiculously slow for anybody to use just the way it is. So at 20 and it's still too slow. So on the gameplay settings, game DVR, I have it disabled because it records almost every single one of your kills and deaths, and it just fills up your memory really quick. On the kill feed, you can change it from graphic, which is what I like, seeing the player's name, the gun that was used, whether if it was a headshot, a down, or a kill. Or you can have it on text which it'll actually tell you what happened. So and so killed so and so by headshot with the whatever gun. I prefer graphics. Color blindness, I literally changed this not because I'm colorblind, it's because I actually like back in the day you were able to change the color of the blood in the game. So I ended up changing it to this, and I'm always been stuck to this. So I don't have a blue zone, I have a green zone. I still have a red zone like everybody else. Cursor or crosshair color, I do custom because I like my crosshair to be red. It is super bright. I'm able to use it and see it almost in any surface, whether it's dark, bright, in a bush or whatever. I like red and I enjoy using the red color, so I customize it to that. On-screen button hints, if you're not new to the game, you shouldn't have this on, just because it takes spot in the screen and it doesn't really help because you already know how to use all those. This debug stat. The new debug statistics are shown on the top left of your screen. And that's a new addition that I enjoy watching, making sure that my ping stays down, I don't have any packet loss and whatever not. Compass background, I don't know why I have it disabled. It has never affected my way of playing. And loot flash, I actually have it on pulse because you can see it and it doesn't bother you. Just the equipment or loot flashing instead of just constantly glowing. Now on the reticles, you're able to change all these reticles. I always keep all of my weapons on full auto. Every single one is on full auto or on burst. This one right here, so the TPP aim camera position, I wanted to always reset to my right shoulder, because every time that you aim down or do the soft aim with the left bumper, I wanted to always overlook my right shoulder. There's people that enjoy having the left shoulder peak, and if you're that guy, then you can do it over here, but I enjoy the right shoulder peak all the damn time, right? Auto reload, I do not like auto reload. It gets me killed more than it actually helps me. Sometimes I get killed because I forget to reload. Yes, I get that, but I feel like auto reload gets me killed more than it doesn't. I enjoy switching all of my skins, all of my attachments automatically attached to my weapon, so I don't have to go in there, because since I am one of those guys that I don't care if I'm shooting you 1 feet in front of me or 20 feet in front of me or 100 feet in front of me, I use a 6 times or a 3 times or a 4 times. I will be aimed down the sight and use it as if it was a red dot. That's my style of playing. People freak out when they see me like that. Sometimes it does get me killed. I'm not going to say that I'm perfect. It does get me sometimes whenever I'm 10 feet from somebody and I pull out and it's a 6 times instead of a red dot. It gets me killed a lot of times. But that's just how I play. Whenever I get into up close and personal battles, I either soft aim or I do no aiming at all, which is a little bit more different, and it's a little bit more like chaotic spray, but it works because you're moving a lot faster than the person who you're going against. The hide your helmet setting, I have it enabled just because I like just for my own viewing, because this doesn't affect the way they see you, this affects the way you see yourself. So if you have a hat or something, you want to use this, and your hat always stays on. Even though they see your helmet, you don't see your helmet. The radio message, these ones are for preference only, whether you want to use 1 analog, 2 analogs. I keep it like this, simple. I keep it simple just because this is what I'm used to. There's no reason for me to try out new things whenever I'm just used to this for the past. Well, this didn't even come out 3 years ago. This came out maybe 3 seasons ago. But yeah, that's the way I use it. Continuous item use. Bandages only is pretty much the way to go for me, because bandages, they take about 3 seconds to use. You want to be able to use them, and you don't have to keep going back to the menu to get use another one. It just keeps using them until your health is back to full. Observer, we don't have to talk about that. Death cam, I have it enabled because people say that it helps with crashing. I don't think it does. I crash or don't crash regardless whether it's on or off. So I just leave it enabled just in case I want to see somebody the way somebody kill me. All the sounds I have them at 100. Music I have it disabled because I'm a streamer. I don't like having loud music while I'm just sitting in the main menu because it just drives me insane. And then graphics, for some reason, my field of view still at 90. People use it higher, which I should, but I just, for some reason, for all this time, I've always had it at 90. It doesn't bother me. Brightness, you can pick each map brightness as you please, whether you want it brighter or darker, because some maps get ridiculously dark for some reason, and we just don't understand why, but they just do. And if you have a 1X or a Series X and you're streaming or playing because you want to be better at the game, because of the game being so defective with frame rate, I would recommend frame rate priority instead of resolution priority. The game is going to look the best it's going to look. There's no doubt about that. But frame rate is going to give you the best frames that you can get out of the game to win your battles. Resolution is not going to help you win your battles. Frame rate is going to help you win your battles. And I think that's it, guys. If you guys have any questions, I'm streaming 6 days a week on Twitch. And my hours are, I do morning streams from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then I do 6 p.m. to about 2 a.m. either playing PUBG or also I mix it up with playing DayZ. So if you enjoy the video and you want to see more in depth of anything that I've talked about here, you can stop by the stream and ask me any questions. I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Catch you guys later. Peace.